Hi guys, Susan here. Okay, so we just draped the basic sleeve on the dress form to establish our main slopers. Now let's correct it on the flat, and that's what's next. Okay, here I am with the muslin. I took it off the dress form. I took the pins out, I pressed it flat, and these are the red markings, which is my new line. So we want to make sure that those lines match up and are adequate to change the existing sloper. So I'm going to go ahead and take this here, the muslin, and I'm going to cut it literally on that red line all the way around, just like this. And where the little dots are, I'm going to cut right on those little dots so I know that that is the new line for this sloper, and I'll be right back. This is the pattern making paper. I took a piece approximately 17 inches wide by about 23 inches long. In the center of it, one of the markings, I folded it in half, and now I have this here lined up on the paper. Transfer it first to the paper, which is going to make it easier for me to transfer it onto the oak tag. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to put push pins along that centered line, just like this. I want to make sure you can see all of it. See the tip here? Okay, I'm going to push pin that down on the fold. Push pin it down all along the fold, and anywhere else that it needs to be push pinned down, just like this. And you have the option to either just trace it out with your pencil like this, or if it's easier for you to use a long prong tracing wheel, you can just gently trace with that long prong tracing wheel all the way around the edge of that and on all of the edges here as well. So we're going to do that like that, and then I'm doing it here on the cuff as well. And so we have that all set. I'm going to go ahead and put this line in too, just to have it. All right, and now I'm going to take all the push pins off, just like that. Take this like this, and now I can actually true these lines and make sure that there's a nice curve. Now I traced the larger side, which is the back side of it. And then we're just going to cut out this small section on the front side. Okay, so I have that all traced like that. You can just pin it together if you want, or staple it, however you'd like to do it. I have one of these professional staplers that you can staple the pieces to, and just so that you can actually do a good job cutting it out like this. And then I like to make sure my lines are perfect, so I'm going to go ahead and use my straight edge to put in the straight edges that need to be put in, just like that, here on the bottom as well. And I'm going to go ahead and use my French curve to put in the lines here that I need, so that that's a nice little curve to actually have your scissor on. So I'm going to go ahead and make these curves more accurate on the top half as well as the bottom half, like that. And then I'm going to take my paper scissors and I'm going to cut along that line, just like that. We're still doing a sloper, meaning I'm not putting seam allowance on this at all. I'm going to cut this out along that line, just like that. Now I have the oak tag underneath here, or it is the oak tag. It doesn't have the green on the other side, but it's just thick enough to do the slopers. So it's good, and I'll give you that link about that, about my Amazon, where I got it on Amazon. I'm taking out the staples right now off of that paper pattern, just like that. It on my oak tag. I'm going to open it up like this, and again use my stapler, and I'm just going to staple it down all the way around. with this paper pattern so I can cut it out. So I'm just going to staple it. I'm not going to try to waste too much paper here, so let's put it on the edge. And I'm just going to staple it all the way around. This is a special stapler that has a long extension. I'll give you that information as well. You can put it, get your corners done really well, lay it flat. Okay, once you think that you have it stapled really well, I'm going to try to do the corners because it's going to be easier to cut it if I get it nice and straight there as well. I'm going to get my scissors, my paper scissors, and I'm going to cut all along where that pattern ends, just like that, using the paper pattern as my guide for my cutting line all the way around, just like that. Side here as well, all the way around this paper pattern. Okay. All right. Now we said that this is the front and this is the back. And we said on the back that it's going to be a little bit fuller right here because we need that for the back, but we don't need it so much for the front. So I'm just going to actually take it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cloth or my muslin right over it just like that and hold it over and just lightly trace out that little bit that we have to take out of the front that's different from the back. I'm just going to trace it out with my pencil just like that, pull that aside, and now I'm going to take my scissor and cut along that line. And that's the section or the extra piece that we don't need in the front that we do need in the back only. Okay, great, voila. There is that piece right now. So our goal is to make a good set of slopers, right? We have already started the bodice. Here's the bodice that I have. These are my sloper sets that I'm perfecting, and that will also be selling to you guys as well. These are the skirt pieces of the sloper. This is the front bodice and the back bodice. We now have to do what's called walking the armhole. We have to walk the pattern. That's what it's called. And what we're going to do, and it's normally you put this curve here and you walk it from this side, the actual sleeve. So we're going to do that right now. And this is, since there's no seam allowance, we're going to go on the edge. And walking the pattern is just taking the pattern like this along the edge and using your fingers or a pencil and just turning it and turning it and turning it to the edge of that pattern. Twistly going around the curve, just like that, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. Okay, so this is a little shy, and that's fine. In fact, it should be shy a little bit more because you have to have some ease on that sleeve. All right, so there's that one goes. And now this is the notch here for the front, just like that. All right, and so now we have the sleeve sloper, the bicep. Okay, we have the bicep line, which is right underneath. It should be, you need to put your ruler here. Let me put an actual line here instead of just a fold so you can see that, hopefully, all the way down. Now I'm going to put my ruler right there on the center of it, and it has to be on the center of one of these lines. At the same time, it has to meet both of these intersections here. So let me just kind of just push it down till I have it meet both of those intersections. That, and so we have that. This means that this has to go down just a tad bit more, just like that. All right, so that's the bicep line. Now we need the elbow line, and the elbow line we said was taking the difference between the bicep line and the wrist, taking that measurement, folding it in half, getting that measurement, going from the bottom with that measurement, and there it is. And then from there, we're going to go up 1 more inch. So from there, I'm going to go 1 more inch above that, and that should be approximately where your elbow should be, just like that. This is going to be elbow line. And this is where we're going to do an adjustment to do the fitted sleeve, just like this, where you actually have a dart here where the elbow is, and then it's also narrower here on the bottom. That's more of a fitted sleeve, and this is just a basic sleeve. And the reason why we're doing the basic sleeve first is because this sleeve can be adjusted to many different changes, whereas this sleeve is more for a specific type of garment. So we finally got the sleeve. There's the sloper. You can take it, you can put these notches here as well. I would like to have that, so that's the notch where the elbow should be, just like that. And a notch here as well. You can have the notch in the center. That's also very helpful. You don't need to put the notch here because obviously that's where it edges, where the edge is where it's ending. All right, and so now we have the sloper, and there is the muslin for the sloper, and we finished this one. You can keep the paper pattern on it. A lot of people sometimes like to do that, or you can then just take the paper pattern off at this point if you want, and put the markings right on the oak tag itself. Okay, alrighty guys, we're done with this one so far. Thank you for watching this episode. I'll see you in the next one. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.